step out the cage. We raising all of the stakes, made no mistake. Either you stay in your place or we putting you on a plate. Look at our face, we put the fear in the dirt. We had to struggle for change, pick up the pace. We put in infinite work, that's why we stay getting paid. Y'all running late.
If you come, you're messing with a star. Nobody
Welcome everyone to the grand final edition of Between the Posts. Myself, Jack Banwell, and Jad Gosson taking you through all things that happened across the Adelaide Footy League in what was a jam-packed grand final weekend of footy across the Adelaide Footy League. A massive shout out straight off the top to the father of the footy show, Tommy Javor. Had a little bit of a setback with his health during the week, which is why he's not able to be in for the show today. We are wishing you all the best, Tommy, and hope for a big summer from you, mate. Hopefully your health is great and we can see you back here this time next year. But all things said, Jad, where are we today? What have we got coming up on the show?
Yeah, we're at the Gully, the House on Haynes, a beautiful venue here, and plenty to talk about on the show. Of course, grand final edition. This is the show, and this is the time of year everyone loves. We've got plenty on again, what caught our eye. We review every single division and the grand finals, exactly what happened in them, as well as some marks and goals of the week.
Definitely. And also the coach of the week and the coach of the year will be announced as well, thanks to Farmers Leap, and we've got the last word as well. That was the intro. Thanks to 9 News. Stick around for plenty more to come on Between the Posts. In what was the closest season in BTR Excavations Division 1 history, the grand final didn't quite live up to the hype. Port District have made history in emphatic style. They win the Division 1 Premiership at Cooper Stadium. Scores were 14-8-92, defeating Golden Grove 6-5-41. Each quarter, it was Port District by 26, 39 and 39, and they finished off 51-point winners. I was on the call. Jad, you're on the boundary. How did you see it from ground level, mate? It was emphatic, it was ruthless, it was brutal from Port District, really. There's no other way to describe it, is there?
Yeah, exactly. Golden Grove kicked the first goal, but then 5 goals in that first quarter to Port District to take that lead into quarter time, and they just kept their foot on the gas. It was similar to the semi-final, I'd say, where they got a big lead early, but this time they just kept piling on the goals, kept piling on the pressure. They defended ferociously, and their big players stepped up when it mattered and in the grand finals. And when you're a Port District team with plenty of good players, all those stepping up and playing really, really well was a big reason why they won. But not just won, the margin, 51 points, is probably more than most people expected. Yeah, definitely. There was a stage there, I reckon the scores were about 92-29 late on in the game. And I almost started looking for the history books there because it was getting close to one of the biggest grand final margins that we'd seen in Division 1 for quite some time. Golden Grove kicked a couple late to just butter up that margin a little bit to 51 points. But on the Golden Grove side of things, the margin was not through lack of trying, I thought. They were having a red-hot go at trying to get their ball movement game going, but they just couldn't muster enough looks inside 50. And when Port did go inside 50, it seemed like they scored just about on every occasion. Adam, my co-commentator, was doing his own stats. It'll be interesting to see when the stats do come out, because Port District, they double the scoring shots, and I think the numbers, the tackles, the marks, and all that sort of thing will be reflective of the score. Unlike 2 weeks ago where Port District to the eye looked like they dominated the game, Golden Grove did win a lot of the key stats, Jad, so I reckon, though, this will be a different story. They had about 11 inside 50s in the first half, Golden Grove, which is just unheard of. I had to get Adam to repeat it live because I just couldn't believe what I heard. I knew that Port had dominated, but I didn't think Golden Grove didn't get that many looks inside 50, and they were also smashed around clearance as well, and that was where the game was won and lost.
after the game, in his post-match address, Josh Ramsey said that he wanted his team to be tough and to defend the ground. And they did that to perfection, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. That was right. That's the key to his game plan. He talked about it as well in that interview, how defense is his motto and what wins them games. And Adam Jeffries as well, shout out to him. He mentioned how sometimes it's the most attractive to watch or play in, but if you're winning premierships, that's the fun part. And even though it might not be fun to watch, it's fun to win premierships. And that was a good point made by him. And yeah, Port District dominated throughout. Golden Grove had their chances, we mentioned. They had a few shots at goal they probably could have got just to make the margin a bit less going into half time, three-quarter time, those kind of things. But in the end, yeah, Port Districts were too good around the ground. Their clearances, how many times we see one of their players, even last set, running out of the midfield and just getting a clearance like it was nothing.
Yep.
And they matched up well on Pittman and Cavallaro and all those stars. They still had the ball, they still had good games. But in terms of having an impact on the scoreboard, it was all Port District's way. Joey Haynes, a big inclusion, we'll get into him in a bit. But on the halfback, he probably got 40 touches and felt like he got...
He had his own footy there.
It felt like he got maybe 30 and a half. He was dominant in that, especially in that first half when the game was on to be won.
3 goals to three-quarter time for Golden Grove just doesn't quite cut the mustard, does it? They were down by 39 points at three-quarter time. And I think that third quarter was very crucial. The margin at half-time was 39 points. You thought that they would come out firing, and they tried. Like I said earlier, not through lack of trying, but Port District just killed the game perfectly in that third quarter, and then it was just pretty much party time. They piled on 5 in the last quarter, did Port District. I just want to ask you one about Rama and how he was saying defend the ground.
Yep.
From our vantage point, I'm not sure how it looked at ground level, compared to last week where Golden Grove could switch and counter-attack and go forward in the paddocks of space at West Adelaide on just about every occasion against Ross Trevor. I don't reckon that happened more than 5 times on the day for Golden Grove. Port District just did what they needed to do, didn't they?
Yeah, they're very quick to shut down the switches and the fast ball movement of Golden Grove, which is key to them getting so many wins this season. And I also, talking about the interview with Rama, he mentioned the ground actually suits them very well. It's quite a narrow ground there at Nord Oval, and just their style, they stop the switches and
squeeze it, don't they?
Yeah,
they squeeze the ground.
The rare occasion where they actually got their ball movement going, Golden Grove, they scored a few times. So that was definitely something they was key to stopping and getting the scoring power. And we know how Golden Grove could score at free will sometimes during the season. But Port District had done their homework. They obviously had a week off as well, so that might have had an effect on it late. But just an unreal performance and a very professional performance. I think we say that every week about Port District, but they know what they've got to do. There's nothing too fancy, and it just gets the job done.
Yeah, definitely. You did touch on it as well. Port District only played the 2 finals. They looked a bit fresher. Golden Grove played every single week of finals, so that couple of extra weeks rest for Port District, I certainly did think was a major factor. It's not often we say this about Port District too much, but they looked a lot fresher. They were running on top of the ground, and that's something that Golden Grove have done to a lot of teams. And Ross Trevor did it to Port District in round 18, which secured their final spot. So full credit to Port District in the way that they played. And I've just got a good stat for you as well, Jad. 8 out of the last 11 premiers in Division 1. Over the season, they averaged 90 points a game offensively.
Wow.
Who do you reckon in those 3 premierships were the only team that didn't average 90 points for the season?
Port District.
Exactly right. So defence wins premierships for Port District, and when they make the finals, they make it count. Just want to give a massive shout out to Harry Dwyer, Jordan DeRizzi and Jack Ferns, first-time premiers in Port District colours. 17 out of the 22 that played yesterday created history in being part of that back-to-back premiership team, and there was about 8 or so Port District players that now have 3 premiership medallions around their necks. So a massive congratulations to all involved at Port District. Just going to run through the best players before Jad goes through the goal kickers. The best on ground was Sam Gray. He was enormous, like Jad touched on, could have raffled that off to probably 4 or 5 different players. Kenny Carpenter was enormous. He kicked 3 goals. Modestach was a rock in defence. Joey Haynes had his own pill. Louis Sharrett, I thought, was sensational as well as more of an attacking winger, and he kicked a couple of goals. For Golden Grove, Shenton can hold his head high. He tried his guts out all day. Mitch Payne was thrown around a bit. Luke Barmby had to throw the magnets around, and Mitch Payne played well. Noah McDonald, he was a tough battler in the defensive line for Golden Grove. Cavallaro, Thatcher as well. It was a great day for Port District. They beat Golden Grove in the B grade as well, and it was Sacred Heart getting the job done over Port District in the C grade. So it was a great day at Cooper Stadium as a whole. Unfortunately, in this game, there has to be a loser, and it was Golden Grove yesterday, but they can certainly be commended on making the grand final in their second season in the top flight. They're a strong club, as we know. They've made their way through the divisions, and in their 30 30th year they're in Division 1. There's plenty of smart people at the top making great decisions, and I have no doubt that we will see this club succeeding in Division 1 in years to come. That was the BTR Excavations Division 1 Grand Final wrap. We'll see you in 2026 for more footy action right here on Filming Footy.
Do you belong in a role that drives you? In a community that makes you proud? In a team that brings out your best? You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
G'day footy fans, this is the Division 2 Grand Final wrap thanks to Breakthrough Mental Health. And I'm not going to say too much more apart from the score because myself and Matt Gale, who were there commentating the game, are stuck in a gully sandwich. We've got Chris Olsen to my right, Big Tickets Penny on the left, the inspirational leader of the Gullies Football Club. It was 16-13, 109, plays 7-5, 47. Athelston, the Gullies getting the job done by 62 points. We'll start with you, Matty Gale. You were there commentating the game. How did you see the game before we get the players' opinion on it?
It was an explosive game, one of the highest order. I'm really impressed with the skill level of both of these sides. They're going to be welcomed back into the Division 1 fold with welcome arms next year. The first half in particular was absolutely outstanding. The Raggies jumped Tea Tree Gully early. They whacked a few on the board, and those particular goals were of the highest order, as we said. And then late in that first opening stanza, the Gully stood up. They kicked 3 late goals. It was 4 goals to 2. It ended up being 5-4 at quarter time, and then it was an explosive 6 goals to a goalless Athelston in the second term. Clinical display, a 9 on the trot, and they persuaded to continue on their merry way. The game dropped out a little bit. The sting had been taken out, basically. That clinical, as I mentioned on the call, and these boys will love watching it back. The premiership quarter has been known as the third quarter, but that premiership was won and done in the second. And a really commanding position at halftime. It was good night, Irene. I think we said put it in the car park, the Monaro, because it was over early doors. Quickly go through the goal kickers for both teams and the best players, and then we'll have a bit of junk time as well. So, Brady Latham, as I mentioned, kicked 5. Ryan Spittle with 4. 2 each to Tyler West and Noah Hyde. He was really impressive. James White, he's a Rolls Royce. He kicked 1. Will Cansdell kicked 1 as well. And the big buckets, Penny, he kicked 1. We'll just quickly go through his stats. We'll give him a quick rack. Norwood Junior, Nightcliff 2019. Tea Tree Gully 211 games. And over to Athelston. I think Luke Randall was probably close to the best man on the ground. He kicked 4 out of this. They kicked 1 right on the siren. But Lukey Randall kicked 4 there, 6 up until that point. Connor O'Brien, Mitch Grigg, best players. Ryan Spittle gets the vote on the play HQ, but Chris Olsen, I thought, was the best player on the ground. Brady Latham got the 3rd best, and James White, as we said, he's a top flight player. He'll be impressive in Division 1. And Luke Brown, after his 189 games for the Crows, he was amongst the best players, and he was just a cool cat in defence, just mopping up and setting up as an architect down there back. He was pretty impressive. For the best for Athelston, as we said, Randa, probably close to the best man on the ground. San Germano was impressive as a captain. He stemmed the bleeding there as it needed to be. Aaron Stewart was their halfback quarterback. He played particularly well. Nurton, as we mentioned, and the other long sleever, Lodovici, was. Now, I want to get straight to you guys, the elder statesmen of the club. Mate, your 3rd premiership from 3. What does this one mean to you, compared to your other premierships that you've won for this great club? And as I mentioned on the call, you're one of the best on-field leaders, but probably one of the best off-field leaders we've got in the Adelaide Footy League, which is speaks volumes of you as a leader and your instrumental figure around your club. So what about these premierships? How do we compare them with ones gone past? And obviously you played at the highest level as well, but getting to that vintage top end of your career and playing really solid football and got plenty of support around you.
Well, I mean, let's not get it twisted. How comprehensive was that report right then? That was absolutely unbelievable. Honestly. Beautiful. I mean, the Filming Footy crew have only got maybe an hour for the Dip 2, but you've given us 2 hours. So that's absolutely amazing. But anyways, for us especially, I don't know, like you said, 3 grand finals. I'm very lucky and very fortunate. But I suppose this year was just, more than anything, I was just very appreciative of just getting to experience it with blokes that I've played a lot of junior football with. So, Div 1 flag and Div 2 back in 2020. And you played for a myriad of reasons. But this year, more than anything, it was just for the sake of just getting to have a beer with the boys. You know, at the end of the day, that was the biggest thing I was wanting to play for this year. You know, once you get to 30, all of a sudden you're thinking maybe my football career is done, sort of thing. Which I hope not, obviously not. But no, it was really good, and you know, the game was it was a great game. Atherton are a ripper team. But like I said, Atherton are a quality outfit, and they deserve to be in Div 1. They've got a lot of great players. A lot of blokes I've played footy against as a junior and through Norwood, and I'm looking forward to going up with them. You know, we myself and Justin, we talked to Matty Knight after the game, and he's a rip bloke.
He is.
So
Nightmare.
Yeah, not the nightmare.
Not the nightmare yesterday.
He had some nightmares in that second quarter. I'll tell you that.
But like I said, it was a great game, and to be honest, it was great to see another sort of northeastern football club representing us. You know, the blue army for the Atherton was huge for them yesterday.
Yeah, it's ginormous.
They were massive, and especially our Teacher Guy members as well. But more than anything, going up into Div 1 next year to have a nice little road trip down the road, about 10 minutes, is always good to have. So I'm looking forward to, you know, versing them again, but also enjoying the celebrations with the Teacher Gully boys. 3 flags. It's a great career. There's a lot of people that, you know, never get to experience a grand final, and if they do, sometimes they're on the wrong side of it. But for myself, obviously, very appreciative, and good to be here with the Filming Footy crew today.
Chris, how much have you slept, mate?
Yeah, a couple of hours. Yeah, got in early this morning, and then a couple of hours and straight back up for the celebration. So yeah, all ready to go.
Was this your first flag involvement with Teacher Gully?
Yeah, I had a few flags as juniors.
Yep.
But in the senior program, it's my first flag.
How good. You got blokes like Blake that have won a couple, but there's also players like yourself, and I'm sure there was multiple others in the team that it's their first flag. I bet it would have been great to share that experience with everyone.
Yeah, it was, mate. Like, obviously, we've got a few players have won 3, 2, and then obviously me and a few others, that's our first one. It's really exciting, and then I think what we spoke about as a group, you know, there's a lot of connection within the group, whether that's best friends that have been for high school or played junior footy together, like Tico said, or just legacy. Like Tico's now won 3 flags, and his legacy at Teacher Gully is massive now. So I think this premiership is really important for a lot of players now, and it's one to remember for the future because, like I said, the friendships and stuff that's been built, whether that's from the juniors and up, it's going to be big for celebrations in the future ahead.
Your game yesterday, sounds like you took the piss almost from Matty Gale's words. How'd you see the game on field yesterday?
It was good. Like Atherton are a quality outfit, so we obviously knew that we had to come out strong, but we just knew if we just play to our strengths as either individually and as core groups, defenders, mids and forwards, we can, you know, expose them a little bit. And obviously that second quarter did fall our way a bit, but in the back of our minds, we always knew that Atherton were going to come back. And things go your way a bit, and obviously it's nice to have some individual performance, but in the end, grand finals, the only thing that matters is the team wins, and it's lucky that we did that on the day.
Buckets, I know you won't be as modest as that, mate. How did you see the game on the ground? Obviously, Matt did an extensive overview of the game. Did you just have time to enjoy it out on the field, like with maybe 10 to 15 minutes to go? How did you just have fun with it out there?
I think early on, we were probably sitting there going, hell, bloody Griggy's kicked one from outside 55.
Yep.
Brandon's got off the leash a little bit. We were sort of sitting there going, bloody hell, like we're in for a bit of a tough gig here. But like Jim said, we sort of played to our strengths. We got on the outside a little bit with our speed and our pace. We got the job done. It was a bit of a weird feeling, you know. You feel like, you know, when you're 6, 7, 8 goals up that the game's done, but we've seen Atherton's kick 4 goals in 5 minutes. So we were never really comfortable.
Yeah, you couldn't relax at half time. That was 45 points. You knew they were going to challenge, and definitely. I think it took around about 9 to 11 minutes for the opening goal of the second half. Just went into arm wrestle mode, and that's when we knew the sting was out of the game. Along with that, we were on. They were never going to catch you, but yeah, you're right. I think probably the last 7-10 minutes I saw blokes coming off the bench. You know, Alex McKay come off, you come off, put with a few of the elder statesmen on ice, and just sit back and watch it and admire from afar. And Justin Machado, like, I'll tell you what's a coaching masterstroke yesterday with that blitz, and then the second quarter, it was just a domination, clinical approach, and it'll win plenty of games at Division 1 company. Now, you guys are probably more switched on and mature than most of those blokes we saw earlier in the bar. Thank God we're in the house of Haynes, because it's starting to get a little bit messy down there in the Teacher Gully Football Club. Big thank you to John Douglas and the evergreen veteran Tony Neal down there, just enjoying a little tipple. But talking about tipples, who's been your 3-2-1 off the field since that post-grand final performance? Anyone been as clinical off the field as they were on the field?
Probably not Tim Pillion, because I don't think he...
I've been waiting.
Not him.
Let's wind him up.
Here we go.
Get off the Dennis Lilly long run up, please, big boy.
Sorry.
Stage is yours.
Anyways, probably not him. I know he didn't back us in because he only watched one of our games and he went against us. So anyways, that's all good. Anyways, shout out to you, Tim. Hope Shark Park's going well today. Anyway,
they won the Bagoos. They got the B grade. So.
Anyways, a 3-2-1 probably off the field. I don't know how you separate. Do you go for the blokes that probably have got a little bit of sleep, or do you go for the ones that have had a bit of sleep? Like
either either.
Also, I think James White is looking.
He's got the tongue out.
He's looking something.
Bit parched.
Yeah, he's looking something.
Tide's gone out.
Needs a few Kieran Hikers.
We touched on him beforehand, but the coach, Justin Machado, he's really enjoying himself. He's had a bit of a chat with us after the game yesterday about his future plans, and he's really enjoying himself today and probably for the next few days as well, which would be awesome to see. And then I don't think you can go past all these young boys. They're trying to show their worth. But bloke's probably like Cody Tape, you know. He goes under the radar a bit, but he'll be there on Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday, I think. So that'll be good.
Before we do finish up, Jackson, anyone that you'd like to thank, mate? You've been a stalwart in the club, one of the most highly respected leaders, as we mentioned, the Adelaide Footy League, full stop, exclamation mark, bang. Anyone you'd like to thank from the club, or you've probably got a list, you know, as long as Father Christmas there.
Well, you probably start with the breakthrough mental health rounds, Division 2, you know, Adelaide Footy League. How good is that? John Kernahan and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
But then obviously it goes without saying, all the people that make us getting on the park easier. You go talk about trainers, coaches, volunteers, committee, but then also our valuable sponsors and partners that help us out in the field. Sam Dunn, Ray White, Teacher Gully. He's really good. And then all our other sponsors you got JLT, Justin Machado, and so many. It'd be hard for me to say it now. I wouldn't want to miss anyone, so I won't go anymore because I got 2 good ones.
Very
but
good.
Apart from that, obviously, you know what it's like. Community clubs.
Yeah.
It takes a community to get everyone onto the park each week, and to see last night the club absolutely pumping with so many Teacher Guy members, friends and family was awesome to see. So, big shout out to everyone there.
Before we let you go, guys, just one more quick fire one. Port District will be watching. Can you guys get them next year? Do you reckon you can go all the way to the mountaintop in Division 1 next year?
Oh, I think so. You got to have confidence in whatever league you play. They're obviously a quality side with some good players in their team. I think we definitely can. Yeah, 100%.
Lysette who?
I like it.
Oi, look out.
Geordie West, Jacob Russo, Scotty Lysette, watch out. Big Buckets Penny will be on the march in Division 1 next year. That was an extremely comprehensive wrap of the Division 2 Grand Final. Thanks to Breakthrough Mental Health. Thanks to these 2 superstars from the Teacher Gully Football Club. They are the Div 2 premiers by 62 points. We'll see you in 2026. Alrighty, footy fans, we're not going to worry about Coach of the Week this week. It's time to announce Coach of the Year, thanks to Farmers Leap, the major sponsor of the Coach of the Week award each and every single week. A massive congratulations to all coaches who triumphed in grand final wins across all 7 divisions of the Adelaide Footy League over the weekend. We are going to head to reveal your Farmers Leap Coach of the Year. G'day footy fans, we are down here at Country Living Homes Reserve with the reigning Premiership coach of Division 1, back-to-back 3 and 4 years, Josh Ramsey, and we are here because he is our Farmers Leap Coach of the Year. He wins an extraordinary prize thanks to Farmers Leap, a 6-pack of premium Brave Shiraz valued at $270, Rama, and
Thanks,
2
mate.
premium wine glasses and a gift box valued at $100. And that's from Adam Jeffries and the team at Farmers Leap. A little note here from Adam and the team. A worthy recipient of the Farmers Leap Coach of the Year, a stellar home and away season, and a defensive masterclass on grand final day makes you a worthy recipient, mate.
Thanks, Jack, and thanks to obviously Farmers Leap and Adam and the support they've given us coaches. I guess it's team sport, and we were just talking about the Brownlow last night off air, and obviously plenty of player awards. So to have a coaches award is great for the coaches in the competition, and Farmers Leap for their support of it.
It's not quite the Lee Matthews Trophy like the
No.
AFL, mate, but I reckon the Farmers Leap Award will do just fine.
Yeah. Well, Monday after, it's Tuesday. So after a grand final, at some stage I'll open it, but it won't be in a hurry.
Beautiful. Mate, history's created back-to-back. Sum it up. It was an amazing day to be there and witness it. And as Adam said in that little note there, defensive masterclass, you guys destroyed the Kookaburras.
Yeah, we the score probably flattered really the result in the end. I thought we had control of the game for the majority of it early on. I think from memory, Golden Grove kicked the first goal, and that was a bit of fumbling out of a congestion and out of a stoppage. But after that, I thought it was our ability to win contests, get the ball in our front half, get territory, then defend behind it was really important. And it's Norwood Oval suits us a little bit because it's similar sort of when you look at our own home ground and the way we like to defend the ground. It suits us a bit. So we look forward to getting to Norwood Oval, and fortunately for us, the last couple of years, it's been a good positive result.
Yeah, it has. At three-quarter time, live when we were watching it from the commentary box, could see you were really animated. You were pointing to the fans and you were pointing to the players, trying to really rev them up for that last quarter to make sure they finished off the job. They'd done all the hard work. Went back and someone had posted it on socials, and you said 0. It's never been done before. Just sort of talk us through what that's all about.
Yeah, that was a bit before the game. So I put a number 0 on the board. Just asked the playing group what they thought that represented, and that was that Port Districts had never gone back to back in the history of Port Districts. I know that I think it was 80 years. Pete Gaffney was telling me, I think it was 80 odd years ago, one of the clubs that have, obviously the formulation of Port Districts did it, but in terms of this footy club and how we are now, it hadn't been done. So it was just reminding the players, a bit of the theme for the day was it hadn't been done, and you can change that 0 to a 1 if you finish the next 30 minutes off. And it was also just explaining, it's been such a great build-up for us. It was a 2-week build-up because we got through in that first final, and just explaining that there's 30 minutes of it left, 30 minutes for your supporters for the 2025, and just to make sure that we didn't take the foot off the pedal and that we enjoyed the next 30 minutes and stuck to task.
Did you get to enjoy some of the last minutes in that last quarter, mate? You speak about enjoyment?
Yeah, absolutely. You stay so focused, and I think at one stage someone said 4 or 5 minutes, and I think all the coaches were waiting for me to do something, so I then just started to shake my assistants' hands who had outstanding years as coaches and on the day to get to work. And I was saying off air, just my ability of the line coaches to have an understanding of what we need to do to make sure we're aware of opposition keys and positives for them was a reflection of where the playing group was also in good stead, because the coaches, they get to work, they do the homework, they feed it to me, and I get this award and I'll be sharing it with them because it's just as important that they understand the importance that where I'm at is on the back of what they do for me and the support they give me and the playing group.
Who are they? Give them a shout out.
So, Ravo, Mark Ravenscroft, Country Living Homes. Ravo came to me when I first came here in 2022, and he's sort of, what I call him, he sort of does everything. He helps the committee in space, he helps the coaches, and he's probably my right-hand man and just oversees what's going on in the box. Rob Tank Thompson, you spoke about a defensive masterclass. He's the defensive coach, and credit to Tank. I mean, I like to set up the ground a certain way, but Tank definitely supports that and gets the matchups right. Rick Kelly looks after our forwards, and I think our forward line was one area of the park where we wanted to find more score, especially for the finals, and we were able to manipulate a few things, which on the back of Rick and the way he did it. And then obviously the Rose brothers, Matt that plays, looks after our mids, Nathan Rosie's brother sits on the bench and sort of controls it for him. So really privileged to have the help I do across all facets of the game.
Speak about that defensive setup a little bit more. You guys plain and simply just stifled Golden Grove's ball movement. We know how electric they can be at times when they can get their run and carry and their fast ball movement game going. They did that probably a couple of times late in the game when probably the foot was just off the gas slightly from you guys.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they had to run and gun, didn't they? I mean, you didn't want to leave anything out there. I think they kicked first one in the last quarter through some transition out of back half and scratching their head. We noticed they sent some numbers up to centre bounce and had 2 coming off the wing, and we thought, what do we do with that? But they ran and gun a couple of times through us, but that was one of the key areas for us the minute we knew. They got us up there, and just watching some of their vision, they're very good in transition, especially at their back half. They like to switch and go, and the key area for us was making sure when they switched, we got up on that mark and didn't allow them to gain territory. So I thought that was one of the key areas of the game. Every time they sort of went to switch, we were able to slow them or cut off the switch, made them go down the line, which we were able to obviously make sure we could defend. And then for us in transition, it was making sure we change a lane or get off the ball line and go out the other side a little bit ourselves just to move some of their defenders. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, you look back and you win, so you can say it all worked, but we're fortunate that the playing group, their ability to stick to task, their ability to want to create pressure. We spoke about you don't need talent to create pressure, you just really want to do it. And they did want to do that, and on the back of that, as I said, the modern game, I think I've said to you before, the modern game isn't about score from stoppage, although that'd be handy. You score by winning the footy back and getting it back in offence.
You spoke a couple of weeks ago when we were down here for Coach of the Week that a couple of times, because you guys had such an amazing home and away season, that on occasions teams would get 3 and 4 against you. Golden Grove weren't able to do that in either final. They kicked 1 goal. They had 3 goals to 3/4 time on the weekend, for example. So you guys did your homework and you executed as well. That's got to be pleasing. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. And the playing group's done that all year. I think I was speaking about, we're talking about we'd been behind at half time a few times, and I think that can come with a bit of, it comes off the back of momentum, but obviously being the reigning premiers for coming into this year, clubs obviously build themselves to have a crack at you and want to have a go at you. So the momentum levels or the motivation levels were high, and when it comes to finals, I mean, I don't think either team's more motivated than the other, but it was able to, our playing group really switched onto it. They flicked a switch, so to speak, in terms of once the finals got here. When you got the experience we do, they've got an ability to do that, and our younger guys in particular were the ones that sort of set it up and came with them. So, yeah, it was pleasing. Both finals were really pleasing, and I think just the way we were able to set up the game here and then set it up at Nord suited our style.
Amazing day for the club overall, all 3 grades into the grand final. You got 2 out of the 3 on the day, and the 17.5s a couple of weeks ago also made the grand final, so the club's in a really great spot.
Oh, great spot. Obviously we won the women's month or so ago as well. So the club's in a fantastic spot. If you came back here Saturday night, there was just people everywhere, and great people. You know, that's the great thing about this footy club. Their ability to accept you. Like I'd never been involved here prior to 2022, but they've accepted myself and all my family, and so yeah, it's at the moment. I mean, we're all pretty well aware football is circular, and right now we're in a seriously good spot. And as a footy club, we've got to make sure we can and make the most of it.
Who do you reckon was best off field in the celebrations here Saturday night?
Oh well, Saturday night I know it went well late into the night, so I can't say because I wasn't there right at the end, but I'm sure all of them had a crack, that's for sure.
Just one player I want to point out, Kenny Carpini in his finals form. Even going into the finals a little bit, sort of looked like he's just starting to peak at the right time, and he went crazy in the finals. There's no other way to say it.
No, he's a even better human being. He's just such a great fella. But his 2 finals were the exact reason I wanted to get him to the footy club. I mean, when we recruited Kenny, it was probably not another midfielder we sort of needed at that time, but I'd heard he'd sort of departed from Westies, and he only lives around the corner, and he's a great family man, and I coached him a bit at West. I mean, I saw him one day in the Sanford Reserves get about 60 off half-back flank. He's elite. He's elite by foot, and I don't think we'd seen the best of him, but come final series, he felt really good in his body, he was fit, and we got a true reflection of the Kenny Carpini that can cause some major damage. I think that's now a real building block for him. The other thing was he got a bit more time on ball during the finals. Through the minor round, he was a bit more of a forward that was pinch hitting on ball, whereas in the finals we actually probably upped his midfield minutes to, he's probably by the end of it doing 60 mid 40 forward, and that worked for him.
Did you recruit him to go sit in the goal square and take big pack marks like he did in a couple of the finals?
No, he just. How good did he read the ball? I mean, it was the same thing happened, I reckon, both finals. I think Golden Cove kicked the first goal in each final, and then we've gone inside 50 and Kenny's taken a contested mark on his chest. So it was quite uncanny how that unfolded. But great 2 games by Ken. What
do you think sets you guys apart from the rest of the competition? 3 and 4. Sacred Heart is one that jumps out to mind. They've come at you guys red hot in the regular season. Haven't quite got there in finals, and all the other teams that have tried to get you in finals just haven't quite been able to get you. Yeah,
I'm not quite sure. I mean, 2022, we came from outside the 5, finished the regular season on top and won it. And I think that was more around the way we set the ground up defensively. When I first got the job here back then, I spoke to the committee and the recruitment selection process around, this is probably going to take us 2 or 3 years, but I think one thing we really need to do is tighten our back line. If you looked at the numbers in 2021, we were letting through way too much score. And so we were able to fix that in 2022. And I think on the back of fixing defence, we found ourselves winning it. It was, again, we played Goody Saints here in that first final, and everyone that saw it just couldn't believe the pressure that we were able to apply. So really it's on the playing group. I mean, we've got some experience now in these big games and in final series, and we've got some experienced heads that understand, and now guys that have been under me for 3 or 4 years, and I just can't talk highly enough of when the heat comes and finals time come. You've got to win the footy. And the only way you win the footy is applying pressure, making sure that then you also can handle pressure, because they're going to come back at us as well. So, look, there's plenty of teams out there. I mean, we're just fortunate the last couple of years it's been our day on a couple of the occasions. I mean, you look at Glenunga last year, they couldn't let any score through. They were outstanding defensively, and we were able to get them at the very end. But I don't think it's anything to do with outside of it was fortunate that both days fell our way, and as I said, I got a really good coaching group that plan and prepare really well. The playing group get on board with what we're saying, and it's working for us.
How obviously the season's been great. You finished with the premiership. Are you excited to have a bit of a refresh and relaxation and before you get stuck into pre-season?
Yeah, definitely. It happens quick because Sean Mousley, our footy ops, he's texted me this morning that already organising 2026 trials. So it happens quickly, but that's the way I sort of like to operate. Let's get it planned, get things in place so you can sort of have a breather through November before pre-season starts. But the next week and 2, after the year and the performances we've had, it's definitely a time of enjoyment and just reflection on what the 2025 footy season's been. So it's been good.
Where's your number one place to get to for some R&R?
We love the Barossa, obviously. As I think I just said to you, I'm unfortunately off to a funeral Thursday, and then on a plane Friday to another funeral in EP, over in the EP. So I'm really looking forward to that. Get to, horrible circumstances as to why we're catching up. I get to catch up with my family from my dad's side, my cousins and some mates over there. So I'm looking forward to that, and love going down to McLaren Vale and down Victor Way. So living in Glenelg North, we sort of in the middle of everything. And we'll find our way doing something. Moorfield Racecourse, I'll frequent there a couple of times. So it should be good.
Any luck, you reckon?
No, not at this stage.
You use all your luck on these medals and the Farmers
I'm
League
happy
wines.
to give Moorfield the money as long as we keep bringing cups back here.
If you could recruit an ideal type of player, could be Matt Rao, for instance. Who would you like to take into 2026?
I've got nothing wrong with the squad I got. I think there's some guys playing B grade. They're going to have a real influence on our list going forward in 2026. Maybe if we're talking AFL, I think Kerno's on the go, so I wouldn't mind trying to get him if we can. We need wouldn't mind a big key forward to give TC and Sammy Mack a hand, but. I think if we can sort of nail someone that can come and really take the pressure off TC and Sammy Mack, who when I first got here are defenders, they're now playing centre forward, full forward and doing great jobs. But someone that's a big tall forward, I think would be handy for us.
Got your eye on Lenny Pascoe or?
Lenny, no, I'm not big on stealing other Div 1 players from other clubs. I think he's very comfortable in playing great footy, and I don't know. At the end, I was like, you want to win, but he walks off the oval with 98, and I'm sure he'd rather have won the premiership. But it's a bit of a stiff day for him. He almost feel it's sorry for him because he didn't get the 100, but yeah, he's had an outstanding year, seriously good footballer. He gave me some sleepless nights, that's for sure.
Rammer, I think that's just about all we've got time for, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you this year, the rest of the team here at Port District, and yeah, just from us and the Filming Footy crew, congratulations, Coach of the Year, extremely well deserved. Back to back, you've created history, and let's bring on 2026, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. And thank you to Filming Footy and the team. Your support of us as a footy club and myself as a coach has been brilliant, and obviously the Farmers Leap, who each week do the Coach of the Week. I think it's a great initiative, and yeah, very fortunate to have won the Coach of the Year, because I know the work that a lot of coaches in the state and Australia do for their footy clubs and how difficult it is. So yeah, just a little initiative like that is very much appreciative.
Footy fans, we'll see you in 2026, but for now, your 2025 Coach of the Year, thanks to Farmers Leap, is Josh Ramsey from the Port District Football Club. This is the Division 3 Grand Final wrap-up. Thanks to 9 News, the Dragons, Jad, they couldn't be slayed. They are your premiers of Division 3. A massive congratulations to Zeb Kenny and everyone else involved at Westminster. Scores were 9-8-62, plays 7-8-50 to the tune of 12 points. The Dragons, they reigned supreme in Division 3. It was 13 points at quarter time, 26 at half time, just 2 points at three-quarter time. We'll touch on that comeback, and it was eventually a 12-point win for Westminster. Jad, how did you see the game?
Yeah, for sure, it was the Dragons successful there. What was interesting to me, they were 26 points at half time and then just 2 points at three-quarter time, as you mentioned, and then the winning margin was 12, somewhere in the middle. So it was almost played out a bit like that. And Unley, very good effort to come back in that third quarter, but it was not to be enough. Westminster reigning supreme and finishing first on the ladder. Everyone that finished first won the premiership, so it just shows how important that is. And yeah, congratulations to Westminster, as you mentioned.
Unley went scoreless in the second quarter, but as you said, they hit back in the third quarter, 5-1. And in the fourth quarter, this is probably where the game was potentially won and lost, such a tight contest that they got it back to. Unley were 1-5, plays 3-3 for Westminster. So they took their opportunities, including, I'm sure it'll be rolled through this highlights package, Nick Leck's goal from the boundary, from the junction at Payneham Oval. Extremely tough place to kick goals from at Payneham Oval, and he put it straight through and sealed the premiership. The scores were 48-42 at about the 16-minute mark of the last quarter. It was tight, it was tense. Loved the commentary from Alex Coots, Vince. Aidan Ross was the best on ground. His disposal was elite. He was often chopping in, third man up in the ruck. He was courageous, took plenty of strong grabs, and it was a perfect grand final-like display that the Westminster Dragons needed. The goal kickers were Nick Leck with 3. He was the only multiple goal kicker for Westminster. Then there was Blackwell, Andrew Bradley, the former Glenelg Premiership player, Riley Drum, Edwards, Phillips and Viles with 1. And for Unley, Kabaz kicked 2, Adams, Fox, Heaslip, Kemp and Miller with 1. And apart from Aidan Ross, who are some of the better players on the ground there, Jad?
Yeah, so it was Leonard, Willits, Drum and Leck. And for Unley, it was Heaslip, Fox, Stevens, Duval and Callanan.
A massive congratulations once again to the Westminster Dragons. They are 12-point winners of Division 3. Thanks to 9 News, that was the Division 3 Grand Final wrap. It is time now for the Division 4 wrap thanks to Police Credit Union, and it was Plympton, 17 on the trot. They found their bite one more time in the big decider. It was 11-12, 78, plays 6-4, 40, Walkerville. Unfortunately for Walkerville, it was their lowest score of the season. So sensational work for Plympton. Great defence and excellent attack to get a 38-point win in the big decider. They have been the dominant team in Division 4 all season long, as I touched on, 17 in a row. They were 2 points at quarter time, 29 at half time, 36 and then 38-point winners. It was a tight, tense tussle in the first quarter. It was 1 goal apiece. And then the second quarter is where the game was separated and won or lost. Thanks to Phil Herden for his commentator's notes and his work throughout the year. Sensational work from you, Filthy Phil. Jad, what did we see in this game?
Yeah, so the second quarter, as you mentioned, was where it separated. 4 goals, 4 behinds, only to the 1 point. So unfortunately for Walkerville, couldn't get the scoreboard in that second, and that's where the gap grew. Walkerville kicked the last goal of the third quarter to make it interesting, to get some breath back into the final campaign, but it was not to be. Plimpton squashed any momentum they had, and the Cats took that into the third quarter, kicking the first 2 of the last quarter, and then from then on it was party time.
Their last loss was in round 3, as you said, and it was to Walkerville. So Walkerville did have plenty of confidence going into this game. They overcome a 26-point deficit in the prelim as well. So they would have been believing right up until 3-quarter time. But Plimpton, they kicked the first goal of every quarter, and that just killed any sort of momentum that Walkerville could try and muster up. As you touched on, they're both promoted to Division 3. Walkerville 8 seasons in Division 4 and Plimpton 5 seasons in Division 4 respectively. Plimpton have had some great seasons in years past, but have just fallen short of making the decider and getting promoted. It was a really great day for Plimpton. The first time ever they've had all 3 grades in the grand final. 2 out of those 3 got up. They beat Smosh in the C's. And Walkerville, it was the first time they had both A's and B's in the grand final since 2012. Their B grade did get the job over Plimpton. So there was something to smile about there for Plimpton at the club rooms and at the Walker's Arms this afternoon. I'm sure they're going to be there for a few Sunday frothies. The best players and the best on ground was McLeod for Plimpton. He was everywhere in Phil's notes. He actually didn't know what position he was playing on the ground because he was just everywhere, McLeod. And there was Taverner, Phelan, Caruso and Nelson for Plimpton. And for Walkerville, Smith, Sims, McKay, Bowden and Elliott were in the best players. For the goal kickers, there was actually no goal kickers on Play HQ, so we're not 100% sure of who those goal kickers were. But in Phil's notes, there was plenty of marking targets forward of the footy for Plimpton, and there was a diverse forward group, so I'm sure they shared the load. Luke Paparella in Division 4 has been the star talisman. I think he's 60 or 70 goals, can't quite remember off the top of my head, but he's been a star. I'm sure he got on the end of a few. And for Walkerville, Bowden with 2, Griffith, Khan, Kirshner and Smith with 1. That was the Division 4 Grand Final wrap-up. Thanks to Police Credit Union, it was the Plimpton Bulldogs winning by 38 points. The division that keeps on giving, it had one final twist in the tail. It is the 5AA Division 5 Grand Final report. Marion, they win in an absolute heart stopper. It was 13-10-88 plays 12-8-80. The Pulteney Double Blues, they just fell short in what was an absolute nail biter. Pulteney reaching the grand final, the only team to reach the grand final from outside of the double chance placings. So straight off the top, massive commiserations and very commendable effort all year from Pulteney to win 9 out of their last 11 to make the big dance. Pulteney, they led at every change and they lost the game. Unbelievable. 20 points at quarter time, 23 at half time, and then this is where the Marion comeback started. 3 points at 3/4 time, and once the final siren sounded, a draw. Can you bloody believe it? Jad, what happened in extra time?
Yeah, of course, crazy result to the draw, and then extra time, which everyone at the ground, I'm jealous I wasn't there to be honest, would have been an amazing experience. But Marion, they led by 2 at the half time of the extra time period. It was only 2 points though, so no goals in that first 5 minutes, I believe it is
Yes.
of the first part of extra time. So again, tight contest, couldn't even be separated, goalless in that first 5 minutes, and then they just had to kick 2 goals to win it in the second half of extra time, and Marion found a way to get those goals those 2 goals make the difference in the end. And unfortunate for Pulteney, such a great season, 9-9 record to sneak into the finals in 4th position, to go on a crazy run and to nearly pull up probably the upset of...
It would have been, yeah.
The biggest upset in history of the Adelaide Footy League, just to go
in
against...
history?
Maybe, why not? Because they were 1 loss all season, they were heavy favourites, and then they go in extra time and just lose it. It's heartbreaking for Pulteney, but they'll be... In weeks and months to come, they'll be really amazed at their effort.
Yeah, I sent Darcy, the coach of Pulteney, a text last night just saying that I feel for you. It's a cruel game, footy. There has to be a loser, but he was full of praise and pride for his team and how far they have come. So massive congratulations to Pulteney for all that you've achieved this year. They got out of the blocks in perfect style. They kicked 5-1 in the first quarter. And then both teams steadied, they kicked 2 apiece, and then that's why we saw that similar margin at half-time. And then that's where the Marion comeback started. 5-2 in the third quarter, left the fans on the edge of their seat. Who got the best on ground? We'll touch on some goal kickers and things like that a bit later on, Jad.
Yeah, for the best on ground was Liam Bunn. Enormous, especially in that second half. So many clearances, marks, 2 vital goals as well, which is also very good for his team. And best on ground for him. Congratulations.
The goal kickers on the day was Tim Stewart. He kicked 4, Bunn and Elkins kicked 2, and then there were singles to Cavallo, Eichner, Fleetwood, Laforna and Mitchell. And that's one thing that I've noticed following the Division 5 season all year. Even though they did finish top Marion, they dispatched just about every single team convincingly. They had a very even spread of goal kickers week in, week out. There wasn't that one guy kicking 6s and 7s each and every single week. For Pulteney, Big Joel Aish, he kicked 6. He tried his guts out all day to get his side over the line. Curry and Kennewell with 2, Jarvis and Taverner with 1. And who were the other best players? Obviously Liam Bunn getting the best on ground there, Jad.
Yeah, we'll start with Pulteney. They had Aish with the 6 goals, Worrell, Wiestra, Ree and Kelly. And for Marion, other than Bunn, was Fairley, Angel, Fleetwood and Eichner. So plenty of good performance from both teams, and yeah, they'll be proud of their performance on grand final day.
Massive congratulations to Marion. They are your Division 5 premiers thanks to 5AA. I have no doubt about it that we will see them higher up the divisions in years to come. They have a young, balanced squad, Jad, with a great coach at the top, Sean Bazan. In his first season as coach, he is now a premiership coach. So congratulations to all involved at Marion. Commiserations to Pulteney. There has to be a loser, but I have no doubt that these clubs will be successful in years to come. That was the 5AA Division 5 Grand Final wrap. This is the Division 6 Grand Final wrap, thanks to Billy's Bakery, and it was the Lions of Fitzroy. They found their roar once again in 2025, dispatching St. Paul's by 48 points in the big dance. Scores were 15-15, 105, plays 8-9, 57. They flexed their muscle, Jad. They've been the dominant force of Division 6. It was a dominant performance over St. Paul's. They led at every change by 17, 44 at halftime, 34 at three-quarter time, and 48 points was the final margin. You are the Division 6 expert, mate, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so we'll start off in the first quarter. St. Paul's with only 1 behind at quarter time, so unfortunate for them. Got off to a bad start, but credit to Fitzroy. Kicked a few, got to that 17-point margin, as you mentioned. The second quarter was super high, scoring 10 goals between them, but 7 of them did go to Fitzroy, unfortunately, for the St. Paul's team, taking a 44-point lead into halftime. St. Paul's, they won the third quarter, so credit to them. They came out, they didn't give up, and they were fighting hard. But congratulations to everyone at Fitzroy. They had a great season. It was such a tight division, Division 6, but they were probably the clear number 1 the whole way through and get promoted to Division 5. They finished top of the ladder. They get promoted through that means, yeah.
And in the best players, it was Carbine Jr. taking on the best on ground. Richardson, Rogers, Diorio and Pickett Carbine in the best players for Fitzroy. For St. Paul's, Henricks, Werfel, Buckerfield, Salisbury and Gibbs were in the best players for St. Paul's. Great effort from St. Paul's to make the grand final from third. They had a great preliminary final win last week against Eastern Park. Massive congratulations to Fitzroy and Nathan Rayner. He has signed on for 2026 as well, so they are destined for great things, Fitzroy. They are your Div 6 premiers by 48 points, thanks to Billy's Bakery, and we'll see you in 2026 for more Division 6 action right here on Filming Footy. This is the Division 7 Grand Final wrap, and it was the Elizabeth Eagles in the local derby at the Ponderosa ex-Convenience Oval, getting the job done. The only team to be undefeated across the entire Adelaide Footy League on the men's side of the draw. It was 51 points to the margin, 15-16, 106, plays 8-7, 55. It was always going to be a huge ask for the units to cause an upset in this decider. I think going into the game, Jad, it was just a question of what was the margin going to be for Elizabeth. They've been the clear standout, the dominant force of Division 7, and they did just that. They led at every change by 24, 29, 49 at three-quarter time, eventually finishing out 51-point winners. How did you see the game?
Yeah, so the first quarter immediately was 5-1 in Elizabeth's favour, and then from there on they just kept going. They won every quarter throughout. Central United only losing this last quarter by 2 points, so not a bad effort there. They lost to, quickly on Central United, they lost to Elizabeth 2 weeks ago in that semi-final by 161 points, so it's a 110-point turnaround from there. They still lose a grand final by 50, so it won't feel good, but that's something they can take into a positive. Also, they get promoted coming from third spot. They beat Brahma Lodge, who were second on the ladder twice during the final series, to get promoted. So a few positives there for Central United, and for Elizabeth, of course, undefeated, unbelievable season to turn it around, and to be back in Division 6 after just 1 year is an incredible effort, and some good performance all around from both teams. Central United will take as much as they can away from this one. They'll just focus on next year. As for Elizabeth, they'll be celebrating down there for a while, I think.
Yeah, certainly. Agana Park will be overflowing with people. I think it'll be packed to the rafters there. About halfway through the third quarter, the margin was still just about 30 points. So full credit to Central United for not lying over, making a game of it, and forcing Elizabeth to play it out until the final siren. We know how good they've been. These are some great commentators' notes from Peter Georginas as well, who was down there yesterday. We know how good Elizabeth have been. There'll be no mugs in Div 6 if this team can stick around. That a lot of them are in their prime age, Jad. A lot of them I played footy against as a young fella, so we're all in the prime of our lives at the moment. They were running all over the ground on that big deck at Central's Oval. They went one end of the ground to the other multiple times, and for Central United, they weren't necessarily bad. There was just no way to compete. Elizabeth have just been too good all year in Division 7. I don't think there's any other way to describe it other than that, mate. Is there anything else you want to add, being the Division 7 expert that you are across this season?
Not really, just that it was amazing to cover all the divisions, Division 7 and Division 6 this season, and to give some love to the lower leagues of local footy. There's plenty of passionate people out there and hard-working people, and it's been good to see the results every week, talk about it and discuss and analyse some of the different scenarios that happened.
Completely agree, mate. Who are the goal kickers and the best players before we sign off?
We'll start with Central United. Sylvie with 2 goals, Barron with 1, Burns with 1 goal, Eels with 1 goal, Hugo Davies also with the single, and Palmer and Simmons with 1. So plenty of a good spread there of different goal kickers. As for Elizabeth, they had Dempsey with the 3, Upton 3 goals as well, Ewing, Owen and Shaw with 2 each, Abbott, Han and Stevenson 1 goal each. So a good spread as well, 5 players kicking multiple goals.
In the best players, the best on ground was Braden Owen. He was sensational all day for Elizabeth, and as you touched on, he did get on the end of a couple as well. Adam Hahn, Upton, Dempsey and Bunker were in the best players for Elizabeth, and for Central United, Rory McMillan, Burns, Jack Venice, Woods and Jeevers were in the best players for Central United. Massive congratulations to both teams for reaching up to Division 6, getting promotion. massive congratulations to Elizabeth for taking out the Division 7 flag, and commiserations for Century United, but they sort of knew, I was out there about a month ago, they sort of knew that Elizabeth were the benchmark. It was going to be an extremely difficult task to overcome them, but they're building not only for the now, they're building for the future, and there's great signs and great things happening down there, led by Ivan Silby, the coach, and the president, the Fenwick family as well. So have no doubts that Century United will be competitive and hopefully compete for some premierships in Division 6 in the years to come. That was the Division 7 wrap. Thanks to you, Jad, for all your efforts and your research across Division 7 this year. I'm sure the fans of Division 7 have absolutely loved your analysis. Stay tuned for more in 2026 for more Adelaide Footy League action right here on Filming Footy. Alrighty, footy fans, this is time for What Caught Our Eye. Flags. Plenty of flags across the Adelaide Footy League. It was grand final weekend, and this is what caught our eye across grand final weekend in the Adelaide Footy League. I'll kick it off, Jad, in Div 7. Elizabeth, the only undefeated team across the entire Adelaide Footy League. And a special shout out to Stephen James from Elizabeth. He's retired with a premiership medallion around his neck.
Yeah, Elizabeth, fantastic season for them. Another thing that caught my eye, they got 5 goals in both the first and the third quarter. So right at the start of the game and the premiership quarter to seal the victory.
Oh, the cliche, the premiership quarter, Jad. Oh, makes me cringe. That's all right. In Division 6, for me, it was Dylan Richardson kicking 6, and he finishes with 23 goals from only 13 games.
Yeah, that was mine as well as a great effort there for Fitzroy. They had a very similar score to their round 4 clash, so I think it was only 1 point the difference. The exact score for what Fitzroy got and what St. Paul's got. So a good effort all around, and a very interesting numerology one, nearly.
Nearly. I know you love your numerology, Jad. What did you see in Division 5, mate?
Yeah, for Division 5, Marion winning in extra time. I think that's the obvious one. We probably will have the same thing, but a fantastic match there. Pulteney, very unlucky. They were 9-9 record going into the final series, finishing in 4th position, and nearly caused probably one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen in history.
Yeah, it certainly would have been. Do you just want to... You sort of touched on that a little bit fast.
Yes.
Did you say extra time? Because some other people in other divisions might not know they went to extra time.
Yes, extra time.
Yeah, it was, and I went back and watched the second half last night. Have nothing better to do with my time than watch some great local footy action. And what caught my eye was Tim Stewart in his 100th game. He had 4 goals for the afternoon. Actually, I'm not going to ruin it. Go back and watch the stream, and you can see what happened for yourself. Division 4.
Division 4, yes. So it was a tight arm wrestle in the first, only 1 goal each. And then after that, Plimpton got 4-0 in the second quarter and really separated there in the second period.
Yeah, further to that, the second quarter, it was a breakaway from Plimpton. It was tight to about red time in the second quarter, and they kicked 3 goals in red time, Plimpton, to lead by about 5 goals at half time. And it was a bridge too far for Walkerville to close up. Division 3, mate.
Yeah, Westminster, they're winning by 26 points at half time, and then that's when they got a bit of a comeback there, Unley, and they kicked enough points to make it only 2 points the margin at 3/4 time. So a big comeback there. It wasn't enough in the end. It was 12 points the margin at the end for Westminster winning.
Going to get our producer Darcy to create some wizardry sort of magic here. Check out this Nick Leck goal, which sealed the deal and the premiership for Westminster Dragons.
It's lit.
That's not good for the Jets.
Probably the best kick in that Westminster lineup. Nick Leck. What can he do? From the boundary. No way. No way. That might just be the nail in the coffin. Nick Leck. No way.
Sensational goal there from Nick Leck. Congratulations to all involved at Westminster. Division 2, what caught your eye in Division 2?
The margin was a bit of a surprise to me. 62 points, the winners there, Teacher Golly, as well as some of their main goal kickers kicking a big bag. Brody Latham with 5 goals, of course, winning the goal scoring in Div 1 last year, 2024, and 4 goals to Ryan Spittle.
Athelston kicked the first 4 of 6 goals of the game, and then Teacher Gully just went bang, bang, bang. They kicked 9 in a row, and that set up the win for them. And another one for me was Luke Rander was the only multiple goal kicker for Athelston for the Raggies, and he's had a sensational year. Division 1, before you've got an amazing stat, Jad, the score for Golden Grove, it was their lowest score of 2025, 6-5-41. What caught your eye in Division 1?
Wow, it just shows Port District's defence to add to that. For me, it was the margin as well, 51 points, as well as Port District becoming only the second club this century to go back-to-back. It just shows what an achievement that is and how hard it is to do in Division 1. And a fantastic, historic day for them and everyone involved. Port District, congratulations, and I'm sure they might be going for the three-peat.
Tommy Javor calls Adam Jeffries the statistical saber-tooth. I reckon you've got him covered there. Some great stats from you, mate. That was what caught our eye in the grand final edition of the Adelaide Footy League. We'll see you next year for more What Caught Our Eye on Between the Posts. These are your marks of the week, grand final edition across all 7 divisions of the Adelaide Footy League. And remember, the mark of the year winner will win a 3-night stay at Kimberley Resorts thanks to Moonlight Bay Suites up in Broome. Make sure you send your nominations in to Darcy at filmingfooty.com.au. But for now, check out these marks of the week.
In the end, Pickett Carbine goes off the ground. He's paddling it along in front of himself, can't quite pick it up. Trapped it in the end, fantastic stuff. Back here towards Meany, hooks it round the corner. Richardson, but a great Meany, hooks it round the corner. Richardson, but a great.
Into today under an injury cloud. He looks $1 million right now. Shenton. Right now. Shenton. Nice hit. Rolls straight away.
Weistra and Powell go at it. Picked up by Ray, I think. Has a ping at goals. Going back Marion. Oh, with a fly. Jarvis! What a mark by Lockie Jarvis going. Ray, I think, has a ping at goals. Going back Marion. Oh, with the fly. Jarvis!
G'day footy fans, these are your snags of the week thanks to Born to Build. And remember, the winner of Goal of the Year, as voted by a separate independent panel, will win a $3,000 prize pool thanks to Police Credit Union. $1,500 goes to the player, $1,000 goes to their club, and the remaining $500 goes to mental health training thanks to Breakthrough Mental Health. Get your nominations into Darcy at filmingfooty.com.au and sit back, relax and enjoy these goals of the week.
Needs to be clinical. What's he got? Got a target. Oh, great kick. Chisler bounces off the chest. Got time to recover. That's a great kick. It's through. What a game we've got. Noah Hyde goes bang. Bounces off the chest. Got time to recover. That's a great kick! It's through!
It's officially won for a while.
One for a long time off the ground. No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't. Yes, he could. Jack Henry. One for a long time off the ground. No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't. Yes, he could. Jack Henry.
We've been sort of getting ourselves organised a bit.
Yeah, for sure. As Worrell, the skipper, got it forward. Here's a chance. Kennywell on the snap. Last goal by Kennywell.
Organised a bit.
Yeah, for sure. As Worrell, the skipper, got it forward. Here's a chance. Kennywell on the snap.
Alrighty, footy fans, this is the last word. Thanks to SAPOL. A massive, massive thank you to all of our sponsors that bring the show to life each and every single week, including Luke Donaldson and the team at the R.D. Jones Group. We are here at the Gully Public House and Garden. And of course, look who we have run into. The Teachers Gully Football Club.
After a massive grand final victory yesterday.
They are premiers of Division 2. There's also another 6 other premiers across the Adelaide Footy League. A massive congratulations to all involved. We'll see you for the very last time this year on Between the Posts, and we'll see you next year for more Between the Posts.